Welcome back, everyone, to the Beyond the Score podcast presented by The Northerner. I'm one of your co-hosts, Matthew Supinger. I'm joined once again with the co-host ever, Alex Perez. Alex, how are you doing?
I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing really good. How was Thanksgiving, man?
It was pretty good. Got some time to relax, sleep in, so I can't complain at all. Loving this weather, too. How was yours?
It's pretty good. Watched some sports, ate some food, as Thanksgiving usually goes.
True.
And yeah, relaxed a little bit. Not really. I don't relax.
Never. You're too locked in always.
Yeah, I'm nonstop. Colton, how was your Thanksgiving?
Oh, it was a jolly old Thanksgiving, you know. I had a good old time. Had some Hawaiian rolls.
Yeah,
the mac and
go.
cheese was Velveeta mac and cheese. I don't think I've had like the shells.
Yeah.
I don't think I've had that for a Thanksgiving, and it hit beautifully.
Yeah.
So it just all came together. Great time. And I did actually relax for like 2 seconds. So that was good.
Nice.
This guy never stops grinding either. Respect. We got quite the rundown for you today.
Actually, before you go to the rundown, I have an announcement to make.
Oh.
all right?
Oh.
This will be my final episode of the Beyond the Score podcast with a beard and the long hair.
Oh my gosh.
Almost had you guys.
What?
Almost had you guys. Yep. I'll be literally shaving it after this episode or tonight, whatever.
Oh my gosh, man.
And then I'm getting. I'm not shaving the locks. Just getting it trimmed. You know, graduation coming up. Gotta get the fresh cut.
The babyface director coming at you.
Yeah. Can you send us a picture?
Send you a picture?
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll absolutely
We'll
send you.
post it to the Instagram, so y'all be looking out for it.
It's going to be a clip. You can already count it now.
I can't wait.
Sorry, I had to type that in to clip that. We got quite the rundown today. After that big announcement, I don't know if it's going to compare to the announcement. Talking some NKU sports, men's, women's basketball, talking college football. Nothing really that crazy happened this past weekend.
Nothing at all.
It's weird sound behind me. Just hold it here to read it. Talking some NFL, talking some NBA. Both of our teams aren't too hot right now.
It's tough.
It's tough. College basketball is just, continues to be beautiful as it always is every single year. And then everyone's favorite segment, the post-game presser. Is everyone ready to go?
Some have dubbed this the best one ever. I don't know.
Some have.
Yep.
Just
I'm telling y'all.
Just what they're saying.
Best one of them all, and they're all so great. So you know that means it's go.
Yeah.
We're locked in.
That's what early reviews have been saying so far. Anyways, starting with some men's basketball here at NKU. Man, they went 1-2 in their last three.
Yeah.
They beat Bellarmine. We had a Trey Robinson 30-piece. We had Sam Vincent hit 1,000 career points. Alex, what did you kind of see in these games?
I'll just break it down game by game. Charleston game was a little rough. Pretty much a double-digit lead for them the whole game. We only shot 39% and 26% from three, so could have done a lot better there. But the North's first double-double of the season.
Hey.
That was surprising to see, but it was good. Sam Vincent with a season high, 21, so good to see he's ramping back up.
Mm-hmm.
And then against Bellarmine, an awesome 86-70 win. Randall Perez dropped a career high 20 in 23 minutes. The team only had 5 turnovers. I think that's the best they've handled the ball pretty much all season. Trey added 24 points. Bellarmine actually got out to an 8-2 start, but NKU fixed the problem. Randall Perez made so many contested layups. So many. It was great. It was close until a Teaser dunk. Vincent block, that is insane. And Pettis 3 made it a 61-53 game, and they never looked back from there. And I know we've talked about it with Darren Horn. He wanted to see a complete all-around game from Randall Pettis, and he definitely got it in this one. And then against Akron, a tough 86-73 loss. Akron, much like the Charleston game, kind of led the whole way. But Trey Robinson with maybe best game of the season, definitely the best half of the season, I think, had a 23 at half and then 80 and 33 total. Sam Vincent hit the 1,000-point career mark, so congratulations to him. But 17-28 from the free throw line and 33% three-point shooting. That's what kind of did us in that game.
Yep. Tough loss, too, especially with how we played against them last year.
Such an exciting game.
Very fun game. Good things from that game, though, so that's cool.
Yeah.
Women's basketball, though, 0-3 in their last 3, but major bright spot. Kamora Morgan, once again,
Just
player of
repeat.
the week, freshman of the week. She had 13 against Eastern Kentucky, 21 against Cleveland State. What are the bright spots where they're kind of in these 3 games? Because it's not like they were all
No.
blowouts or anything.
There's definitely good spots. The good spots, unfortunately, are usually the first half.
Yeah.
In the game against Bradley, it was a 62-57 loss. We led 19-8 after the first quarter and 29-21 at half. Then outscored by 13 in the second half. So definitely some things to clean up with our second half. I don't know if it's an endurance thing or something else. But it's just been frustrating seeing those second half leads dwindle. Had a chance to tie at the end, but got a shot clock violation, so definitely not what you want to see. Then against EKU, Iduwu had 21 and Blevins with 14, but fouled out with 6.5 minutes left. Got to have her there for the whole game. Kimora Morgan, part of the reason she won another one, just had a best start as a starter with 13 points. NKU allowed 4 EKU players, though, to get double figures. NKU led by 13 and then 6 at the end of the third. They were outscored by 15 in the fourth. Don't know what's happening in the second halves, but it's got to change.
Mm-hmm.
Against Cleveland State, we were without Macy Blevins, so going without somebody, already down a big player there. Looked like she was in a walking boot, so hopefully it's nothing too serious, but yet to be heard. Only down 7 after 1, despite only making 1 field goal in the first quarter. So that just speaks to the great defense. And then only 30-22 at half. Michaela Purdue and Destiny Leo, their 2 best players right now, combined for 5 at halftime. So, again, great defense.
Mm-hmm.
But then Cleveland State held a double-digit lead through most of the second half because they kind of got their offensive flow going, and we lost 67-54. But Kimora Morgan might be winning her 3rd straight freshman of the week. She had 21 in that game. So more awards are coming. But I do want to say our thoughts and prayers are with Colby Maples. Tore her ACL. So just devastating news for Cleveland State in back-to-back seasons with thinking they're going to have 2 perennial all-stars in the Horizon League and not being able to have them for complete seasons either season. It's just tough.
Yeah. What a show they both are to watch. I don't remember if we called the game last year or not, but I remember being like, oh, Colby Maples transferred over, very, very talented. I don't think Destiny Leo was playing that game.
Right.
And so I'm like, well, he may have a shot. And then Colby Maples, I think, probably had like a generational game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, thoughts, prayers with her. Moving on to college football, though, quite a weekend. Rivalry week, if I can say it, did not fail to entertain at all. Plenty of fun games, some less fun than the others. Not going to say which ones those are.
We'll get to it.
Favorite game of the week, though, I feel like this is... I was thinking when I was writing my notes up, this has got to be a consensus one, right?
I'd say so. Mine was Georgia and Georgia Tech.
Yeah.
44-42 in 8 overtimes. Georgia Tech up 17-0 at halftime. Georgia looked like a very human team, pedestrian team even. Let's see. They were going for their 31st straight win at Athens. Georgia Tech was up 27-13 with 5.5 minutes left, and still choked that. The overtimes were thrilling. Georgia dropped the win in the 6th overtime, so I was like, maybe this is the juice that Georgia Tech needs to still pull off this upset. And then the 7th were both stupid quarterback sneaks. Didn't enjoy the play calls on either side. Then the 8th, Georgia Tech was denied, and Georgia won on a run for their 31st straight home win and to secure that the seniors never lost at home. Yay, Georgia.
Yeah. Yeah, mine was the same game. Quick little tidbits. 21 in the 4th from Georgia. Nearly 1,000 total yards between each team. Georgia Tech had 260 on the ground. Only 2. That was not a fart, by the way. That was my hand dragging on the table. I want to clarify that. I can do it again. You all heard it?
I don't think we heard it the second time.
I'm not sure I heard that.
Wait.
All right, quiet.
Hold on. Cool. So now I'm getting sold out. It was my hand. I don't do fake journalism here for the Northern.
You know what's funny is if you didn't say anything, we wouldn't have thought anything else of it.
Somebody would have. Somebody definitely would have. I wanted to clarify it, though. So.
All right.
Anyways, only 2 total turnovers between the 2 teams. Haynes King generational Heisman game. That's what they're saying.
True.
413 total yards, 110 on the ground, 4.6 yards per carry, 5 total touchdowns. Cool little fact here. Carson Beck hit 10 different Georgia players for a reception.
Wow.
Actually, 10 different players, and the lowest amount of receptions for each one was 2.
That's crazy.
He was hitting everyone. So, yeah. Colton, did you have a different game than us?
I mean, I would have picked the same one, but I do have another one I'd like to give a little like to. Save the graphic, if you will. And I have number 22 now, Syracuse, who won 42-38 over Miami. And it was a great game, of course, but I also predicted this one a while back. Did not stick with my guns on the Norris Benchwarmers. Didn't pick it as my upset of the week, but still, it was a great game. Kyle McCord, former Ohio State quarterback, had 26 of 36 passing, 380 yards, 3 touchdowns. That would have been nice this week, wouldn't it? 3 touchdowns.
Play calling would have been great if we threw the ball that many times.
Cam Ward, 25 of 36 as well, 349 yards, 2 touchdowns. A great quarterback showdown to end out the season. Unfortunately, this screwed things up for the ACC as they are getting shafted by the SEC. Don't even get me started on all of that, but still a great game. I believe it was on Saturday, but a great game.
Yep. Yeah, big shout out to Kyle McCord. I got no beef with him. I think it's better that he went to Syracuse because I don't think they were. I don't think Ryan Day would have gotten as much heat. He lost again to Michigan with Kyle McCord at QB, but instead he spent money on a QB and still lost to Michigan. So
that's tough.
And he's getting even more heat for it. So it's it's a win.
Surely Ryan Day is not on the hot seat, right? Like he's got all those ranked wins that
he's not
listed on Twitter.
Yeah, no, he's not on a hot seat because his chair has been disintegrated by how much fire is under his butt. He sucks. He is an Urban Meyer merchant.
Okay.
You can quote me on that one.
Clip that.
Yeah, go ahead and clip that.
Put that on
Put it up on the
up.
board. Yeah. He's an Urban Meyer merchant. He can't win big games, if we're being honest here. He especially cannot coach an offense in big games. How do you have, I don't remember the exact stat now, but I want to say they ran the ball 18 times inside the tackles or something like that. And I think they averaged like 2 or 3 yards a carry. On the very minimal plays they ran outside of the tackles, I think they were averaging like 6 yards a carry. And he said, nah, let's beat Michigan at their own game. And you didn't. You didn't do that. So, yeah, I don't know. I could sit here probably for hours, talk about how he sucks so bad. How you get, your defense does everything they possibly can. Everything. They make goal line stops. They make stops routinely throughout the game, as they should against that offense. And you cannot muster up more than, 10 points?
I got to tell you, I got to call this game with Matt on the day this game happened, and he was very excited. So
yeah, no, it was awesome.
It's good to get to see the live reaction.
He just is such a moron, dude. I don't get how someone can be that stupid and still have a head coach position. So, yeah, I did see something the other day. I think they would owe him like $37 million or something like that if they were to fire him right now. That's definitely worth the money.
That's why Mr. Stoops isn't out the door in Lexington, but that's a whole other story for another day.
You also didn't spend $20 million on a roster, though, so
that's fair.
A little different in finances there. So, yeah, that's my most surprising game. It's a good little leeway into this. That is most definitely my most surprising game because you would think a team that has been pretty well coached most of the season, has put up a lot of points, has a really good air raid with, what is he? Oh, yeah, the best receiver in the country. And, nope. We're going to run the ball really, really poorly. So, yeah. What about you? What's your most surprising game?
Well, I thought I was going to get to say all these things, but you pretty much covered it all. But I got a few more things. Yeah, 13-10 Michigan over OSU. Not a big deal. Ohio State's still going to make the playoff. But Davis Warren, 9 of 16 for 62 yards and 2 interceptions.
Yeah.
Michigan run game showed up, though. Mullings with 32 carries and 116 yards plus a touchdown. The Ohio State run game is the thing that confused me the most. I mean, yeah, I know you touched on it. It's been there all year, and they combined for 77 yards between 3 people.
I will say, and I'm not trying to say that this is the entire reason, they are down to 2 linemen. I want to say they just had their starting center tear his ACL within the past couple weeks. So down a couple O linemen doesn't change anything, though.
Yeah, and I was going to add Will Howard, 19 of 33 passing, 175 yards, and also 2 interceptions. A little bit different level of expectation from those quarterbacks and pretty much the same stats. So
Yeah.
you can't have that.
I do want to note, too, that I don't know specifically how many, but I would guarantee a couple of those passing completions were just sweeps that they had. Horrible play calling. That is, I mean, Zach Taylor looks good compared to that dude. So, yeah, Colton, what's your most surprising game?
My most surprising game was also the Ohio State-Michigan game, but I come up with the backups here. I got Texas and Texas A&M, and it's not necessarily that Texas won. It's just how they won and how I was really high on them and almost picked them as my champion going into this year. I thankfully switched over to Oregon kind of at the last second, and that has aged well. We'll see how it ages in the playoffs. But Texas just doesn't look that good. Quinn Ewers, I know he's probably fighting some injuries here, so I definitely take it with a grain of salt, but he's just not quite the quarterback we expected him to be. And all around, this Texas team just isn't as explosive as they kind of started this season and as we expected them to be throughout the year. So just kind of had that realization moment of, I don't think Texas maybe wins a game in the playoff. They should have a bye, assuming they win this week, but they're playing Georgia, who blew the doors off them last time, so why wouldn't they do it again this time? I'm just kind of had that surprising awe moment of Longhorns, better luck next year.
Yeah, I agree. I think we talked about that a little bit last week, that we think Texas was on fraud watch, sound the alarms. There was a lot of fights this past week.
Yeah.
A lot of flag pulling, pepper spraying, fists obviously being thrown.
A couple.
A little bit. Some may say there was minuscule action. They'd be wrong. Can we all be in agreement that this is the probably best thing that college football's had the last couple of years besides the 12-team playoff?
It's so great, yeah.
It is amazing.
It's rivalry week. Let them fight. It's not a thing that happens all the time. So Kirk Herbstreit, stop.
Yeah.
Don't embarrass yourself.
No.
Nobody should be suspended for these actions. This is what rivalry week is all about. $100,000 fines for OSU and Michigan. Come on.
Yeah.
Y'all are going to use that in the Big Ten hype video in next month. This is stupid. Let them play.
Yeah. It's going to be in a 30 for 30 in 10 years from now, talking about this amazing roster that didn't beat Michigan.
And that's going to be on the commercials, the fights.
Yeah.
But no, fine them $100,000.
Yeah, I think it's extremely fun, especially for rivalry week. There we go. Got it out that time.
Almost.
I think they should allow it even more. So, let's say I get up from a first down and, I point the first down in my defender's face. He shoves me a little bit. I could take a swing at him. And you're like, all right. Each person takes a swing. Go back to your huddles. Let them play.
You got the helmets on. I don't see why not.
Yeah, exactly. If you're dumb enough to punch someone with a helmet, let them do it as much as they want.
See, Myles Garrett, he was the smartest of them all.
Yeah.
He punched somebody with the helmet, but not in the way you think.
And Mason Rudolph was the stupidest of them all. Don't take off your helmet in a fight.
Yeah. He was trying to get his words out more.
Yeah.
That's what he was wanting to do.
He said, hey, you're not like this. This isn't you.
All right. So we're done with talking college football. I don't want to talk about college football again. If you're
You want to talk about NFL?
Oh, yeah.
Let's talk some NFL football.
This is going so much better for us.
Yeah. Week 13, I don't really want to say there was anything too crazy.
It was a good week.
Everything was expected.
Mm-hmm.
This guy over here, we beat the Bengals. So has everyone else, man.
Who do you think going to beat them Bengals?
Everyone.
Everybody.
Yeah. What's your guys' biggest takeaway from this week?
Before I talk about that great game, we'll do that later. My takeaways, Josh Allen is the MVP.
That's mine.
He led his team to a
Gotta let a long
35-10
time ago,
victory in snow against a good San Francisco defense. Only 4 incompletions, had 2 touchdowns, and one of those touchdowns being to himself. So, how do you argue he's MVP now, especially after?
Didn't he have rushing, receiving, and passing?
True. My bad. That's on me.
No, you're good. I thought I
That's
saw
on
a
me.
stat about it, but I didn't know. Sorry, I didn't mean to call you out.
It's all good. But yeah, I think this kind of solidified it over Lamar. I think Lamar was the only other one kind of in that conversation. Maybe
What about Saquon?
but they're never going to give it to a running back. He should really be right there in the conversation, but if we're giving it to a quarterback, it's definitely Josh Allen at this point.
Yeah. I said pretty much the same thing. I mean, he's got 26 touchdowns on the year, 5 giveaways, over 3,000 total yards, second best QBR in the league. He is 6th in passing touchdowns. So, yeah, that's my big takeaway. Another takeaway I want to say, NFC South is that division has to be cursed.
Yeah.
I mean, this is, fourth year in a row now? Third year in a row of it being mid. And they shouldn't be.
That's true.
Falcons and Bucks are both tied at 6-6. I think the Falcons have the tiebreaker, though. I don't know, at the top of the division. But, yeah, it's very odd, too, especially with the way the Buccaneers play sometimes and the way the Falcons never play. I would expect the Buccaneers to probably be taking this one easily.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah, that's my only other takeaway. Colton?
My takeaway was on the other side of that Bills game. The Niners are cooked, fellas.
That's fair.
McCaffrey out for the year. Mason out for the year? Or is
For the year, I'm pretty sure, yeah.
Mason out for the year as well. Terrible loss to the Bills. It's not their year. Injuries piled up. They pretty much from the start, and they haven't really been able to overcome that. And we kind of had one of those Niners years, I think back in like 2021 or 2020, where they had like a bunch of talent, but everyone got injured. So it's just kind of a repeat of that. So I guess in a year or two they'll be back in the Super Bowl, whatever, part of it.
Tank for Travis. That team would be crazy with Travis Hunter.
That would be.
I don't want to see that, though. That'd make me really mad. That'd be like the Chiefs getting him or something like that.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's been a cool week. Favorite game, though? What's your favorite game?
My favorite game
Diabolical.
is the 44-38 Steelers win over the Bengals.
Mm-hmm.
Let's break this down, fellas, before we get to stats, okay? The game started with a pick six. That shouldn't have been counted, but whatever. Anyways.
It was Cam Taylor-Britt, bro. That dude's been cooked all year. They have to give him something.
That's not.
They have to give him a penalty. That's what they have to give him. Down by 7 after 1. Then we had a 20-7 quarter to go up 27-21 at half. Most first half points since 2017, by the way, for the Steelers. And Russ, 257 pass yards. Also the most since 2017. Third quarter, Boswell finally misses because it was blocked. Still have 7-3 quarter to go up 34-24 after 3. Fourth quarter is when the turnover started. And that was a great quarter for me. Dante Jackson, interception. Then a Herbig strip sack, taken back for 6 to go up 41-24. 40-plus points for the first time since 2018, by the way. Higgins touchdown after because Joey Porter can't catch the football. He also had 4 penalties, 2 of them resulting in plays that went right to the goal line. Love that. So then there was a obvious Orlando Brown false start that also led to a touchdown, but whatever. You all even got it back to 6, but after that, you all had one of the most symbolic plays of your all's defense so far, and nobody's watching Justin Fields. Instead, they're all looking at the running back, and he easily runs it to ice the game. So now for some stats. You ready?
No.
First 500-yard game for Pittsburgh since 2021. 414 pass yards for Russ, second most ever in his career. Those 44 points was the second most ever the Steelers have scored in a game. Tomlin clinches his 18th straight season without a losing record, and Pittsburgh claims their 35th straight not being in last place. So, overall, great week for the Steelers. More terribleness for the Bengals. I have some Bengals stats, but I was just waiting to see if you all had them as well. So, I'll let you all speak now.
We're just going to cut that from the episode. Dude's telling us stuff we already know. Preaching to the choir. Horrible Bengals defense. Yeah. Yeah, my favorite game of the week was Browns and the Broncos. Quite a game. I'm sure you all watched that one.
Best offense versus the 7th best quarterback in the league.
Best offense versus potentially. Wait, isn't there one back here? Versus a quarterback who's better than Justin Herbert.
Correct.
Actually. Did you want to say your stats or anything?
Oh, I mean, if you didn't have the bad Bengals stats, yeah, sure.
No, I was actually going to talk a little bit about the Browns and the Broncos.
Oh, okay. Well, then real quick, since we could still be on topic. The Bengals 51-1 when scoring 33. The NFL
So how
is
about
50,
that Ravens-Eagles game?
The NFL is
Yeah,
51-1 when
good.
scoring 33 plus.
Saquon was
The Bengals
crazy.
He might be the best
2-4.
running back
His
in the
second
league
half.
now.
Burrow's
Kind
lost
of wild.
5 games this
Fourth
year with
quarter
300
stats?
pass
Yeah.
yards and
That's
3
like, what,
touchdowns.
3 or 4 games in a row with like 50
6
rush
losses
yards.
when they
Derrick
scored
Henry-
25 plus,
Derrick
tied
Henry
for the
kinda
most
getting clamped,
ever.
dude.
4 with 33 plus,
Offensive
tied for the
player.
most
Should be
ever.
MVP, let's be honest.
3 with
if we're being
34 plus,
legitimate,
tied for the
he
most
would
ever.
definitely be
And
the
2
MVP.
losses with
Right.
38
But,
plus points.
man, did you hear about
Also
that Josh
tied for the
Allen
most
engagement?
ever.
Yeah, with Haley Stein.
Can you believe that?
I can,
What a week for that guy.
what a week. Goes
Another
He's,
reason he's MVP. honestly.
another reason.
Yeah. There you go.
Y'all see like Shamik Moore, the guy who does Miles Morales' voice in
He was
shambles.
coping, man. He was not feeling it.
Yeah.
You done?
Yeah, you go ahead now.
Cool.
Good words. Good looks.
All right, so Jameis Winston in that Browns game went for 497 passing yards. Quite a game for him. You might think they won, right?
Yeah.
Nope. Over 600 total yards with the defense's return yards. 4 touchdowns, 3 picks, including the game-sealing pick 6. Bo Nix. I've seen discourse on the internet about, hey, maybe he could possibly dethrone Jaden Daniels for offensive rookie of the year. I don't think so. Bo Nix did go for 294, touchdown and 2 picks, but Jaden Daniels is on a different level right now. Jerry Jeudy, 235 and a score. He's now top 5 in receiving yards after one revenge game. So, yeah, that was my favorite game. Colton, what was yours?
Yeah, we talked about it a little bit there earlier in that just section of the show. The Eagles and Ravens was my favorite game. I think Saquon Barkley solidified himself as the offensive player of the year and, in my opinion, the best running back in the league. Close game. And if anybody says Derrick Henry, I'm not going to be like, oh, you're wrong. Like it's really either way. But just Saquon in the fourth quarter has been nuts. 50 yards in the fourth quarter for at least the last 3 games. It might have been 4 games. So, Saquon, thank you. I'm not going to talk about how I lost my game by a point because of Rashad White. Rashad?
Yeah.
Rashad White. And could have used just a couple yards from Saquon, but you know what? We take what we get. We're in the playoffs. We still got the bye.
I think I won my fantasy week by 2 points against Ben, so it was a good week for me.
Yeah, did he have his quarterback in this week?
Yeah.
Good.
I was really hoping he just had everybody on a bye, but no. He was ready.
Yeah.
But taking notes.
Yeah.
Let's talk a little bit about this Trevor Lawrence situation. It's been quite interesting. He, goes for the run the other day in their game against the Texans. Goes for the slide. Azeez Al-Shaair. That's how you pronounce that, right? Just
Yeah.
want to make sure.
Yeah.
Okay. He lays him out. There was some people that were saying it looked like there was some head trauma with the way that Trevor Lawrence's arm kind of reacted to the hit and just how he reacted to the hit as a whole. Al-Shaair has been suspended
3 games.
3 games, yeah. Obviously got fined. Do you guys think it is the defense or sliding issue?
Well, let me preface this by saying I think the Jaguars reacted appropriately. I feel like that's exactly how your team should back you up. And if not, you need a new team when you get back up.
Yeah.
And it was a dirty hit for sure. And he got suspended 3 games for it. But Get Up, a great show, almost as good as this podcast, brought up a good point that I think I agree with. It's a sliding issue.
Yeah.
If you slide like that, you're leaving your head wide open for those kind of tackles and dirty hits. Whereas if you kind of dive at the defender, they're going to try to save their body, so they're going to get out of the way. And then there's more chance for you to even gain yards at that point. So I feel like it may lead to more punch-outs, but I feel like it would be better overall for players' careers and stuff if they dove instead of slid. I could be wrong though.
I think I could see a fair share of both. Was a dirty hit. You can't clearly see him leading with his head.
For sure.
And I did see a video today. He's got a little bit of a history with making dirty hits on the quarterback. He had a hit a couple years ago on Tom Brady where kind of grabbed him by the neck, and when Tom was with Tampa Bay. And so he's kind of had a history of that. At the same time, it's kind of tough because when you slide like that's just the way through so much of history. That's how quarterbacks have slid. It is, like a baseball slide, pretty much. I think it's tough because he slid. It was bad timing, I feel. He was sliding at the same time Shire was jumping.
Yeah.
I think it was really bad timing. At the same time, even with the bad timing, you should not be going at a dude with your head. That is very clearly not the way you tackle. That's how you get penalized. That's how you get flagged, fined, suspended, all of that. So I think it's a little bit of both, but yeah, I don't know. You shouldn't be leading with your head on a tackle.
Yeah, on one side you're taught how to slide, but on the other side you're also taught how to tackle when they slide like that. So
yeah.
You
Or
could
the
argue
lack
it either way.
thereof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Colton, what do you kind of think about that?
I think you guys took the words out of my mouth, essentially. It was definitely a dirty hit. The slide is also kind of – you saw Lawrence kind of start to slide and then hesitate, get a couple more yards, and then that kind of just brought it together. But, yeah, it's really risky, and I just don't know enough about the science and whatnot to be like yeah, it should be this way or that way. I think there's probably more research that needs to be done on it before I decided. But it was definitely a dirty hit, no question there. But as far as sliding goes, I don't know. It's definitely a risky move.
Yeah. Yeah, moving on from that, though, talk about Justin Tucker being cooked.
Talk about cooked.
This dude is...
Roast beef.
Is it over for him?
It's so sad to see my goat go out like this, but yeah, it's like the
Your goat?
The goat of kicking. Like, let's be honest.
You said your goat, though? What
It's,
about Boswell?
it's everybody's goat. I mean, until Boswell has this for extended period of time.
Got it.
He's the goat of kicking. Anyways, he has missed 10 kicks this season, which is the most out of anybody in the NFL, and costed his team 22 points in the 5 losses, which is exactly how many points they have lost by combined in those 5 losses. It's time to start looking at other options. It may suck. This is a sad way, again, for him to go out. But it's time. You have to look at other options.
Yeah, he's got a 70.4% kicking percentage, 39th. There's 32 kickers, and starting kickers in the NFL. His extra point percentage is 95.5%, 29th in the league. He has 2 games with 2 misses this year. He has 6 games missing at least 1 field goal this year. I don't know his complete career numbers. That's got to be a career low.
Yeah,
that has to be. But yeah, he just looked. It was kind of funny watching the broadcast on Sunday because it was Tony Romo made the remark. He's like, "I'd still trust him to go out there and kick the game winner," and I'm like,
Do you?
"Would you? Would you really trust your kicker if he was missing like that?" But yeah, Colton, you think he's cooked?
Brother is cooked. I mean, what's the word? Well done, cooked. I mean, at the end of the day, I could see a world where he gets some therapy and whatnot, whatever's going on with his head, and comes back. I mean, obviously the groundwork's there, but for this season, whew, get ready for the playoffs, man. That's going to be a fun conversation when it comes down to final field goal and Justin Tucker shanks it right.
Yep.
Whichever he prefers.
Especially when you're deciding like between kicking and field goal and going for on 4th down. Let's go with this guy who's missed 10 kicks, or I don't know. We have Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry. Maybe we go that way. I think it makes it pretty easy.
Yeah. It's such a bummer too because I loved watching those videos where he'd make funny little remarks on the team plane.
Yeah, about Mr. Unlimited, I think, or
He's making all kinds of remarks. So it really is a shame to watch him
That
just
sucks.
stink this year.
yeah.
Sorry, Justin Tucker. I say that like he didn't bury our team earlier this year. Moving on, though, from the NFL, let's talk some NBA. Actually, let's not talk some NBA because there's
We
nothing
could
to talk
cut
about.
this segment, yeah.
Not great right now.
Yeah.
Warriors, or you want to start, or
It's up to you.
I'll go first. Get
Okay.
this over real quick.
Yeah.
I'll be quick. The Warriors stink. They've settled back into reality.
Did Buddy Hield go back to Buddy Hield?
Yeah, that and there's a lot. I think reality has kind of settled in. On a 5-game losing streak, can't close out games still. This is over a year of this now. Steve Kerr, I don't really think knows that his roster is the same every single game.
Mm-hmm.
He's kind of like, this dude, he's still testing this, and we're, 20 games into the season? Yeah, still testing a roster.
Love it.
In minutes and stuff. So, I don't know. When's baseball season starting and stuff? Pretty soon?
I need to get into it because I can't watch this.
Yeah.
Lakers, 6 games since we last met. 2-4 in those games. Not having fun anymore. LeBron obviously needs the load manage. We've only beat the Jazz and the Spurs in the 6-game stretch.
We lost to them, so that's something good.
Quality teams for sure. We've been losing by an average of 21 in those losses. It's more now after the Heat blew us out by 40 last night, but I didn't feel like redoing those numbers and becoming more sad. This team has no life right now. LeBron dropped 29 in 29 minutes against the Heat, and we still lost by 40. The NBA sucks.
Colton,
That's
anything to say about your Pacers?
Injury, 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 and injury. And I think injury.
That's tough.
If
Did you
he's
get
still injured, I think he's day to day, but
Was that all of them?
believe so.
Okay.
I have the injury stats pulled up, but yep, that was all of them.
The injury box score.
Yep.
I wish we had
That's a
injuries to
box
blame
score,
for
yeah.
our team, but nope, we're just bad.
I wish we did too. We just lost Lindy Waters, and so we're like,
No.
yeah, our roster's falling apart. Winners of the week. Who do you guys think?
For me, I got the Bucks, who
It's a good one.
before yesterday had won 7 straight, and of course, I bet on them and they lost. But anyways, after
Not that you
starting
would ever bet or anything like that.
after starting
Yeah.
4-9, they're now 11-10. They were 11-9, and 6th in the East. Giannis, besides Jokic, I feel like has been the MVP so far. 32 points per game, first in the league. 11.7 rebounds, 6th. 6.7 assists, 14th. And 61.7% from the field, which is 5th. Also, 50% on mid-range. What? Giannis shouldn't have that in his bag. That's scary.
Pull up threes are next, man.
Now they get Middleton back tomorrow. So it's just looking really good for the Bucks right now, which is devastating with them having those 2 coaches that they do.
Who are the coaches again?
The best coaches in the world, Doc Rivers, Darvin Ham.
Where was Darvin Ham before this? Just curious.
Having the same record that JJ Redick does right now, but
Okay.
we don't have to talk about that.
My winners of the week, giving a little bit of a boost to the Timberwolves.
Okay.
I know last show we kind of dunked on them, talking about how bad they were playing. Chemistry was lost. Won their last 3, scored over 100 in 2 of the 3. Beat the Clippers twice. They're getting much better bench production from Nickeil Alexander-Walker, Naz Reid, Julius Randle, while he's not, 21 Julius Randle.
Yeah.
He's scored over 15 in that span 2 times, and he had a double-double in another game. Team has shot about 40% from 3, and or they've shot 40% from 3 as a team in 2 of their last 3 games. With their last game also being a win over the Clippers, they shot like 27% from 3. So a little boost to them. They are possibly finding their groove. I don't know. I guess we'll find out next week. Colton, you got a winner?
Yeah, my winner is the Dallas Mavericks. That's a team that's been kind of sitting around 500 to start the year. They've kind of taken a leap in the other direction. Now, to be fair, they have played the Blazers and the Mavericks. They played the Mavericks.
Nice.
The Jazz in this span, but they also played against the Knicks, beat the Knicks 129-114, and they came back down around 20 or so against the Grizzlies. And that's kind of the Dallas Mavericks, Kyrie Irving, Luka Doncic's team in a nutshell, where they just fall behind early, get down 15, 20 points, and then come back and somehow win the game. And to see that comeback was really cool. The PJ Washington is kind of getting, don't know if he's underrated or whatnot, but the defense I've seen, the hustle I've seen from him, I watched him clamp up Jaw there towards the end of the game. I mean, that's Jaw 6 foot, PJ almost 7 foot. Like, that's pretty impressive. So to see him, kind of emerging as Luka's obviously not the best defender, so having PJ Washington out there to guard the best guy on the other team has been pretty helpful. But I think this team is kind of finally starting to find their groove. They looked a little rough there to start, but definitely hitting their stride. But I did want to also tie that in with some Jimmy Butler talks going around. Have you guys heard those?
I've not.
I've not either.
So the rumor is, and I'm assuming we hear stuff like this all the time, but the rumor is that based off the fact that Jimmy is from Texas, is that Dallas and Houston are the two potential landing spots if the Heat were to trade him. So
Wow.
What are your guys' thoughts on that?
That'd be big time. That'd be big time for either team, but especially if Houston got him.
Yeah.
That veteran leadership on a team like that's already playing so well this season.
I feel like that's all they're missing is that one solidified veteran star that's been there before and been in those moments.
Yeah.
So I feel like that would be big time for them. I don't think there's enough basketball for him to be on the Mavs, but
Yeah.
Well, that's the other thing that I just think about when he goes to the Rockets is there's so many great players on that team. That's just going to put Amen Thompson down another notch on the rotation. And same for Jabari Smith Jr. What does that mean for him? And it's like I think he's actually a great fit at both places. I think especially with Kyrie Irving last year having some struggles in the playoffs, having Jimmy Butler to kind of combat that, I think would be great. But I do get your point of how would that basketball move around. I think Jimmy would take whatever role that Jason Kidd would give him at this point. I think he understands that if he wants to get a championship, this is probably the best place for him to do it in Dallas.
Yeah.
But the Rockets would also be interesting too. I don't know if that necessarily makes them a championship threat yet, but I mean, they've looked really good to start the year. They were my second pick for winners of the week because I kind of saw this coming. So I guess I should have gone with them. But I liked what I saw from the Mavericks. I actually watched a game of theirs this week, so I went with them.
He's got in his ball.
yeah, watches it and everything.
Yeah.
There. Casual ball watcher.
Losers of the week. I'm saying the Warriors. Nothing else to say on that. Do you want to say yours?
Yeah, mine definitely should be the Lakers because they lost by 40, but I put the Kings down because they've also been stinking.
Yeah.
They're 2-5 over the last 7 with 3 of those losses to San Antonio, the Nets, and Portland. Things are getting very concerning in Sacramento, and Domantas Sabonis sucks.
What?
He has been bad.
You're not. I thought you were Domantas Sabonis' biggest fan.
He has looked very not like last year. He looked great last year. He is not so far this year.
Yeah. Colton, loser of the week.
My loser is the loser of the year, the Washington Wizards.
That's real.
Just bringing them up is just a kind of a losing point. But these guys have lost 15 in a row, did not win a single game in the month of November. They sit at 2-17. Pistons, watch out. We thought your near record, or they got the record, didn't they?
Yeah, 27.
Yeah, we
wasn't
thought
it?
your record was going to sit there for a long time. The Wizards are well on their way. The only bright spot I see on this team, Sar's had some good minutes as well, but Bilal Coulibaly,
You got it?
I got it?
Yeah.
I did not expect to get it. I wasn't even looking at his name when I said that. No, I think he is actually going to be a stud. I don't know if it'll be for Washington. I don't know if it'll be somewhere else. But I think he is absolutely a stud for this team. Not that I've really watched any live games. I've just watched the highlights. So you couldn't watch a Wizards game.
No.
I wouldn't even watch if they were playing the Pacers. But, yeah, this team is awful, and I just wanted to give a shout-out to them for that. Honorable mention the Sixers for even having – they have all their guys back, right, or is Embiid still out?
Embiid and Paul George play about 2% of the game.
Okay, so the one game I saw where they were both in was just a fluke.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. I figured, but
That's a big part of the Sixers vocabulary. Fluke.
Going back to the Wizards, you know what they say? Just
I know
don't be that team.
At this point, it's like not lose to them.
to be fair, they have had the number one in the NBA, the number one strength of schedule of any team in the NBA.
Isn't that what like
Still butt
the
cheeks.
normal November challenges? No
Not that they make
win
it better.
November, isn't that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is, right?
Yeah.
I think that sounds right.
Yeah, the Wizards did it. No win November. They got it.
They won.
Good for them.
They broke their losing streak by losing. Talking some college basketball, men's college basketball that is not NKU. Favorite team? How's Kentucky doing?
Great.
Until.
Yeah.
Yeah.
3 games since the last time we did this. 87-68 win over WKU. Oway and Carr both with 18. Impressive aggression resulting in 42 free throws. I didn't realize I had that many until I went back and looked at the box score. That's insane. Then 105-76 win over Georgia State. A very good team. That should,
everybody's championship.
Yeah, should make us do well in the NCAA tournament seedings. But 7 players for UK with double figures while shooting 60%, forced 18 turnovers, and outscored in the paint 62-24. They did to Georgia State. So, again, great competition. Should be proud of ourselves. Then we had a game against Clemson, 70-66 loss. First true road game. Close game, no lead larger than 8. Ugly shooting game, 38% field goal and 25% from 3. Yay. That's great for a team that needs to shoot well. The huge thing, though, was 7 missed free throws and unnecessary double teaming on the perimeter that left wide open shots open every time. They weren't hitting them, but still they're eventually going to hit some, and they did. Carr was 1 for 7. Creasa was 0 for 4 and also brought no defense, so really just cardio. And Brea only had 3 shots, so Clemson was not a fun game. I was not having a good time.
Yeah.
How about you?
Nope.
Not having a good time? Okay,
Nope.
That's good.
Colton, how's your team?
I'm having a good time. I'm having a great time. You know, we had that one rough game against Marquette, and I'm sure that'll come back around once we get to Big Ten play. But that's all a part of the season. I'm very pleased with the Purdue Ole Miss game as we went on a 15-5 run there at the end of the game to eventually win it and win. I don't remember what the invitational was called, but the San Diego, somewhere in California, invitational. It was a great all-around 2 games there between NC State, who we faced in the Final Four last year. We were able to beat them by about 10 and survive Ole Miss. And Ole Miss, they're a pretty solid team, coached by Chris Beard, a guy who typically has Matt Painter's number. If you guys remember, he used to coach for Arkansas Little Rock. Yeah, they upset Purdue, and that was kind of like got him on the stage to get eventually the job at Texas Tech and whatnot. And so, great coach and whatever. But yeah, Purdue, we're so back. We are so back. We'll probably end up losing to Penn State tonight or something just to combat that. But loving what I've seen. Trey Kaufman-Wren had a great game against Ole Miss, double-double. And he's almost, I wouldn't say emerging. I'll say it. He's emerging as potentially the Big Ten player of the year.
Hey.
I mean, he's looking like he's going to average a double-double. He's almost filling that role Zach Edey has had. The rebounding is still an issue for us, but if we can get that cleaned up, we'll lose in the Sweet 16 because Matt Painter. But we made it to the national final last year. Let's go.
It was even rebounding with NKU, the best rebounding team in the country, so I think you all are doing fine, Colton.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. Yeah, we're fine at rebounding.
Yeah, you're forgetting the big win that you guys had.
Always forget about that big win. That was the biggest win of the year so far.
Yeah. Some may say.
Some said it.
Game you're looking forward to?
I'm just going to do the homer pick and say the game against Gonzaga for UK this Saturday at 10 p.m. A wonderful time to watch basketball.
Usual time to watch basketball.
Just a top 10 matchup, see how they respond to the disappointing loss to Clemson. Really excited for it.
Yeah. I would probably go Wisconsin at Marquette.
Oh,
okay. I like that.
Right out of my mouth.
Here. Colton, what's yours?
Marquette in Wisconsin.
Oh, that's a good one.
That's a good one. Nobody else could have thought of that one. Huh?
Yeah, that's original.
That's an original thought right there. Number 5, Marquette. Number 11, Wisconsin. Wisconsin just fell to Michigan, who's a team maybe to keep an eye on throughout the next few weeks. But Marquette is a team that played Purdue, beat Purdue, looking like a great team. But they just a Wisconsin matchup there between two big programs. Wisconsin had a great start to the year. They have a really great player, potentially Big Ten Player of the Year out there in Wisconsin. So, I think that's going to be a great matchup on a Saturday. Finally got some college basketball on a Saturday. They've been ducking the college football smoke.
Yeah. All right. Well, you know what that means.
Yeah.
Post-game presser.
The best time of the episode.
Potentially the best one we'll ever see.
That's what I hear.
So don't blink.
Street.
Don't blink because this is going to be the best one you've ever seen. You want to kick things off?
Who's going first?
Yeah, I definitely need to because
All right.
I can't wait for yours. Yours definitely needs to be the last one.
All right. Oh, yeah, get it.
So NKU debuts on the presser right here.
Hey.
A little NKU versus Bellarmine action. The Bellarmine guard takes it in, and Sam Vincent with the two-handed swat to send it away.
Banks closed.
Swatted that like a fly at the family cookout, let me tell you. And that just got this wonderful break going that blew the game wide open. Sam leading the break, of course, over corner pocket. Free ball, playing pool with him.
Beautiful.
Randall Pettis, a career day, 20 points. Come on.
Looks
Doesn't
like the
get better
students-
than that break.
Students were showing out too.
They were out there.
Big shout out to the student section for
There were
not
some.
being there.
All right.
Hey,
So director doing director
we're back.
things. Part 2.
All right, my post game presser. I was in the ring last week when we posted. I'm in the ring again this week. Let's see if we can go ahead
Is this
and
you?
pull this one up.
Director stuff.
Is this you?
There it is.
No, it's not me. It's
And there's Alex.
All right, so we did a Secret Santa party, and Alex got Rock'em Sock'em robots that you can wear on your fingers, and you know me and Alex were playing that. Might look like he won. He was cheating. He was not putting the head down. So yeah, quite an experience
won.
that was. We'll start selling tickets for the next matchup if you think that'd be cool.
Yeah,
I
for
think
sure.
Netflix might want to stream that.
Yeah, it might be better than their last fight.
It's
they
got to
showed.
be.
They gotta redeem themselves.
Yeah. So yeah, that was my post game presser for the week.
It's awesome.
This might have been the best one of the
It's
week.
got to be, yeah.
For reference,
For sure.
we told Alex before that we were going in the world of boxing for Mats, and he definitely thought it was boxing.
Did not disappoint. Did not No. You could have gave me 1,000 guesses, and I would have not went with that.
Oh man. All right. You guys got any last things to say this week? December just started, so
Okay. Good luck to all the NKU students. Finals week is coming up. I know it's stressful, so good luck.
Yeah, prayers up. If your finals is anything like mine, prayers up.
my final's pretty easy. I'm not gonna lie to you guys.
You got anything you want to say, Matt?
Yeah, I do actually have something that I
Okay.
want to say. You bring up a great point. Beginning of December, Christmas time is near, as they say in Charlie Brown.
Mm-hmm.
The snow is falling. It's cold outside. Everyone's, getting sick. Hands are dry. Lips are chapped. It just really, it just seems like a bummer right now. And then to top it all off, it's finals week.
Yeah.
I mean, what the heck is up with that, So what I want to say to all you students that are watching this, who are just looking for that final push to just get you through the finals week, I have a quick story for you. So when I was a small fry, say about 3 or 4, I made a quick stop through the city. And I saw someone who was just struggling day to day with their work, with their career, and they just, they just didn't feel like they were taking that next step that was necessary for them. And they worked at a restaurant. I don't want to say the restaurant. I don't want to dox them. We're still very close friends. They worked at a restaurant. Wasn't super well-paying job, but they were working hard. And that's what it meant to them, was they were putting in that effort. Well, they were just so bummed out, and I saw them because they were just they just didn't feel the mojo anymore with their career. They felt like they were in a rut. It was just a tough spot. And they look across the street, and they see this bigwig coming out of this very, very large building. I was 3 or 4, so I didn't know what the building was. Turns out it was one of the top 50 richest companies in the world.
Wow.
Don't remember the name, but it was one of the top 50 richest companies in the world. And sorry, it's starting to get me a little
Take
bit.
your time. I know this can be emotional.
Yeah, okay. So they see this big wig coming out, and he's holding the box. He'd just gotten fired. And it really, I stopped and spoke to the person who was at the restaurant who was sitting outside on a break. And I walked up to him and I said, what seems to be bothering, I was 3 or 4 by the way.
Mm-hmm.
What seems to be bothering you on this cold December day? And they said, I'm just not feeling it. I'm just in this rut. And I just can't find a way out. And all it seems like is just more struggle day in and day out. And I pointed across the street to this bigwig who was walking out of his job. And while he was bummed that he had gotten fired, his head was not down. His head was up.
Take your time.
He was looking around at all the other stores and businesses and large, companies around him. And I heard him from across the street hollering out, where next will be my venture? Where next will be my venture? And I said, listen, if this man who just lost potentially the best job he could ever have and still has a smile on his face, I see no reason why you can't either. And that's what I have to say to you. While it may seem cold and tough right now, you're just about there, and I don't see why you can't have a smile on your face. Thank you.
Samuel Dallenberg.
And that will do it for this week on the Beyond the Score podcast. Make sure to follow us on Instagram and Twitter at BT_the word score and YouTube at Beyond the Score 123. Big thanks to NKU Media Services for letting us use this studio. It's a huge help for myself, Matt Supinger, Colton Smith, our director. Go check out the North Benchwarmers podcast. Thanks for watching, and we will see you in the next one. Be smooth.